of a pandemic, but I'm standing here talking about the original pandemic. And I hope today, because what I want to save is the opportunity for those who will come behind me to deliver the messages that need to be delivered and the call to action that you must hear. Because if there is no call to action, it's just words. People said, why a funeral procession? Why this? It's the symbolism. So it's George Floyd today, but it represents every Black man and woman who has died senselessly and unjustly. It's the symbolism. And as we know, Houston prepares and other parts of the country prepare for memorial services. It is important that today means something more than just what you see here, more than a processional that is still somewhere around the Wadsworth. That's who showed up today.
Yeah.
That's who showed up today. But the story, as I want to tell you, is that at about 6:45 a.m. on Saturday, my director of community engagement and advocacy, Melinda Johnson, said, and we're going to quote her, YWCA staff, what did she say? What we going to do, not what are we going to do. She said, what we going to do, all right? So from Saturday morning at just before 7 a.m. to today, our partners rallied, joined Melinda and Pastor AJ. And let's hear it for Howard K. Hill, who led this lead. And I don't want to leave out anybody, and I know the others will take care of it, but what I want you to know is that we are profoundly grateful. And the only way that this means anything, the only way that it's going to count to be anything, is if we turn these words into action. That is the most important thing we can do. And to our allies that don't look like us, that say, I don't know what to say, we don't know what to say either, except we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And we're tired of this thing. We've all seen this movie before, and it's got to begin to have a different ending. We thank you. We appreciate you. We look forward to you joining us, not only as an organization, but as a state, as a region, to continue to lead the voices of change. Thank you to my brothers and sisters of the Divine Nine that have come out and represented today as well, and all of you that are here for the purpose of honoring and making sure. And let me be clear, I will never glorify violence. I'll never glorify looting. But I have a question. America, do you hear us now?
Come on.
We have demonstrated today that you can be peaceful and come together respectfully to honor the lives that were lost, not so respectfully. So I thank you for being peaceful. I thank you for being a part of a beginning, not a new normal, but a reset for us in this state and a reset for us in this country. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
Come on, I can't hear you. This don't need to sound like a Catholic church today. I said, I can't breathe! I can't breathe! We can't breathe! I can't breathe!
We can't breathe!
I can't breathe! We can't breathe! I can't breathe!
We can't breathe!
I can't breathe!
We can't breathe!
No justice!
No peace!
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 No Mama, I can't breathe. Come on, I want everyone in here to make some noise just real quick. If you're here for justice, if you're here for freedom, come on, I need you to raise your voice. Come on, you can do better than that. 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 Today, we thank you for the Lord of hosts is with us and the God of Jacob is our refuge. My father told me something very important growing up. He said, son, men may work from sun up to sundown. But he said, son, a woman's work is never done. Can we celebrate all of the beautiful black women at the YWCA who put this together? Thank you, Adrian Cochran. Thank you, Sister Adrian Cochran, for your fearless pursuit to end racism in the greater Hartford region. Today, as a sign of solidarity, we have all of the police chiefs in our city and in our region. We also have the highest ranking female officer in the Hartford Police Department, who is an African-American woman. We have our fire chief, our state police, our EMS, our fire. All of our law enforcement is here. But I want to ask them to do something in a sign of solidarity. If you agree with freedom and justice for all, if you agree that black folks and black children and black women should not be dying in our streets in our country, in our city, in our state, will you please take a knee for us? If you agree, let's go! Let's go! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice! Give them one more hand for their act of solidarity in this community. Some of you say, Pastor AJ, that ain't enough. Well, it's going to have to be enough for today because we have work to do. We have work to do. We have work to do. Today, we stand in what generations will call the time the people stood up and defended and defeated racism. This is a historical time where we are dealing with a global pandemic. Somebody say, I know that's right.
I know that's right.
And even in the midst of this, we forget that the original pandemic was and still is racism. Somebody say, shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. As you notice, this casket doesn't have a name on it or a pretty program that we can take home and remember the person that is lost. Today, we are going to read the names. We are going to read the names of those who we know have lost their life to police brutality. But as we read these names, this casket represents all those that we don't know. All the people before iPhones. All the people before the internet. All the people come on, somebody. So, as we read their names, Brother Campbell, I need you to bring that closer because my eyes ain't that good, brother. Bring that closer for me. As I read their names, I want you to say and repeat their names after me. Romaine Bryson. Tamir Rice. Laquan McDonald. Michael Brown. Say their name. Say their name. Jose Soto. Trayvon Martin. Marley Graham. Mubarak Salameh. Ahmaud Arbery. Stephon Clark. Terrence Crutcher. Philando Castile. Say their name. Say their name. Say their name. Antonio Chulo. Jose Vega Cruz. Alton Sterling. Freddie Gray. Walter Scott. Jason Negron. Karan Marcel Sands. Breonna Taylor. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. Shelley Frey. Tatiana Jefferson. Kyla Moore. Rakia Boyd. Ayanna Jones. Shaquina Proctor. Pearlie Golden. Sharice Francis. Eleanor Bumpus. Aurora Rooser. Tarika Wilson. Say her name. Say her name. Yvette Smith. Katherine Johnston. Veronica Woodward. Michelle Cusick. Alberta Spurrill. Sandra Bland. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. Joyce Cornell. George Floyd. George Floyd. George Floyd. George Floyd. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Mama, I can't breathe. George Floyd. We stand here and recognize the many names due to police brutality. And today, the Divine Nine stands together united in solidarity to memorialize the thousands of brothers and sisters, sons, daughters, fathers, mothers, friends who have been snuffed out of our communities. Snuffed out of our communities at the hands of systematic racism. Somebody say boo! There are nine historically black Greek letter organizations that make up what we call the Divine Nine. And these fraternities and sororities have a rich history. And today, we, the Greater Hartford Divine Nine, agreed to lay our fraternity and sorority flowers in unity. If I can have all our representatives come as I read their names, please feel free to call out in your fraternity or sorority call as we go. Will the Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, founded in 1906, Cornell University, come and lay their flower? Just lay your flower. Thank you. God bless you. I don't hear no alphas talking right now. Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, will you please come? The ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, founded in 1908, Howard University. This is black unity, ladies and gentlemen. Will the Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity come? Founded 1911, Indiana University. Will you come, please? Will the Brothers of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated please come? Founded 1911, Howard University. God bless you, brothers. Will the devastating divas, the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, please come at this time? Founded 1913, Howard University. Thank you, ladies. Will the Soulful Brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated please come? Founded 1914, Howard University. You know. You know. Thank you, brothers. You know. Will our sisters, our beautiful ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, please come? Founded 1920, Howard University. Will the ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated please come? Founded 1922, Butler University. Thank you so much, ladies. Last and not least, will the brothers of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated, founded 1963, Morgan State University, please come? I can't breathe.
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 We can't breathe.
Thank you so much to our Divine Nine organizations. At this moment, I have the opportunity to do something that will go down in history in our family. I have the opportunity to introduce a fearless freedom fighter for women's rights, a mom of my two beautiful black boys that will grow up in a free country because of our work. She is the leading lady of Urban Hope Refuge Church. She is the director of community engagement for the YWCA. Can we please make some noise and put our hands together for the woman who planned this whole thing, Melinda Johnson!
So many people in life wait for someone to call their name. We aspire in life to achieve mastery of something. Some of us are singers, dancers, chefs, engineers, scientists, teachers, principals, mechanics. We wait for someone to call our name on a stage where we can make a contribution that matters, where we can say something, do something that matters. We wait for them to put our name in lights. We wait for them to call our name and for us to make our grand entry and for what it is, whatever it is that we were shaped to do, to be premiered on a platform and a stage. But as George Floyd took his very last breath and said, "Mama, like him laying in a box dead. Before a nation called his name and cried out for transformation. We don't stand here together for play. We didn't process because it's pretty. We didn't lay the funeral flowers because it's beautiful. We stand here because we have too many mothers, too many daughters, too many sons, too many friends, too many lovers laying in boxes dead when they should have been in their houses taking care of their children, when they could have been standing with us, when they could have been preparing meals and bringing it to the table, when they could have been whispering silent goodnights to their children. They're laying in boxes. Someone's missing their father in our community.
Make it plain.
Someone's missing their daughter.
Make it plain.
Someone's missing their son. And not to negate the warmth and the courage of our white counterparts, of our male counterparts, of our counterparts from all over this community standing together, not to negate at all your courage and your efforts standing here, but black women.
Come on. Come on.
Talk about it.
We have been, our feet are tired. Our toes are welted up. Our ankles are swollen because we've been standing for a long time. I don't know what it will take for some of us to change our minds about how we groom this next generation. But our children are watching right now. The sign behind me says racism was the original pandemic.
Say it.
Because before the coronavirus existed, before we were gasping for air because our lungs couldn't inhale because of this virus, racism was choking us. Racism was keeping us silent. Racism was holding us down. Racism has left us gasping for our very last breath. And now, with whatever breath you have in your body, you hold a responsibility to do better. What does do better look like? Do better for our white counterparts sounds like you opening your mouth and breaking the silence in your community.
That's right.
It sounds like a challenge. To our legislators, it means that we stand with a real commitment to break systemic racism right here in our state. And to our community members, it means that you turn your pain into action, turn your tears into action, turn your grief into action. We can change this. We can change. Repeat after me. We can change this. We will change this. We can change this. We must change this. At this time, I am calling on my sister to come and to deliver the second cry on why we can't have this happen again. I can't breathe.
I can't breathe.
I can't breathe.
I can't breathe.
At this time, I am calling for Councilwoman of the City of Hartford, Wildelise Bermudez, to bring us our second cry. I can't breathe.
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 We don't have to look too far. Boricua and black. We don't have to look that far. We say that this happens somewhere else, other states, other places. but it doesn't. That's right. I am Boricua, I am Latina, and I am also black. We don't have to go that far. We don't have to look that far away. It's happening right here. Over-policing is happening right here in our own communities, every single day. Every single day, it's happening right here. What we need to ask ourselves as a community is, what specific changes do we want to see? What specific changes do we need to see? Do we demand to see? There is a lot of money that is spent on over-policing right here.
Yeah. Speak on it.
If we look at our own budget right now, we can see that over $500,000 in the proposed budget, an additional $500,000 is going to go towards vice and narcotics, just as an example. That means that their overall budget will be closer to, for that specific category, it's going to be closer to over $4 million. If we look at the proposed budget for the detention center in Hartford, that proposed budget has an increase, yes, I said increase, of $400,000. That means that that budget overall is going to be closer to $3 million. And the list goes on and on. So we have to ask ourselves, what is it that we want to see as a community? How can we demilitarize this system of oppression that has been keeping us down for decades, centuries? And we as a community, we must reach out to those elected officials to make sure that our voices are heard and that the policies are implemented. And policies are implemented through legislation, through money, through where we fund and what we prioritize as a community. Our school system has been flat funded for 10 years. When this crisis began, our students did not have the necessary tools at their disposal. We have to ask ourselves as a community, what are we prioritizing? Are we prioritizing over policing? Or are we prioritizing our children? These are hard questions that we must ask. We must ask the difficult questions. Now is the time to do it. Please reach out to the mayor's office. Please reach out to the mayor. Please reach out to your elected officials to make sure that we prioritize what we need, what we demand, so that our children can grow and prosper. Thank you.
I can't breathe. We can't breathe. All right, I was told to get to it. I'm Brittany Yancey. I am a member of CT Black Women and the United States of Women, and we stand in solidarity here. This view is powerful, right? It's powerful, but I hate meeting up like this, right? The state-sanctioned murder of George Floyd has brought us together yet again for us to remind the world that Black lives do matter and that we are calling for police accountability, the destruction of all forms of white supremacy. I stand with all the Black women, all of our Black women who are here. We raise our voices to speak out for the humanity of Black people, to remind our people about that resilience, about that strength, about that power. But the fight for Black lives has to remember that black women and girls, black LGBTQ, and gender non-conforming people have to be a part of this fight. They too have been long oppressed and killed by the systems of white supremacy, patriarchy, and police terror. And so we can't afford to leave them behind. We can't afford to not say their names. From 92-year-old Katherine Johnston to 7-year-old Ayanna Stanley Jones, 33% of women and girls that are killed by police are black. So what are we talking about and what are we waiting for? Right? When our sisters are murdered in their beds like Breonna Taylor and Tatiana Jefferson, we have